Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, hello and welcome to Tier 2 MRL at the wonderful Singapore Grand Prix. We're on the new layout, 19 turns, 3.1 miles, or just over 5 kilometers. I'm your host, Midnight Killer, and I've got my co-host alongside me, the wonderful Miniko. How you doing today, my man?
I'm doing quite well. Obviously, with how AlphaTauri's been doing, I've been in a very good mood this week. Let's hope that trend continues. But let's just hope for some more good action. If you missed Tier 2 last week, boy, that was one heck of a race. Singapore has something to live up to if they want to match Portugal. I'll say that.
Well, I know Singapore is our penultimate race here, and you've been along for the ride for most of these broadcasts for Tier 2. So yeah, I'm definitely gonna be relying on your memory of how things have gone as our quali looks to be underway officially. It looks like we're gonna have a dry quali. Hopefully, we have a dry race here. I know I like to see these Tier 2 guys get it going and be as fast as they can and push to their ultimate limit. So. But with that being said, why don't we go ahead and take a quick look and see what the drivers' standings are currently, and just show you a quick look, everyone a quick look at exactly how this season has played out with 2 races left to go. Axis is in the lead right now. He is leading the way with 101 points, just 7 points ahead of Gamer in P2, and 17 points ahead of City of R in P3. Alpine taking P1 and 2 in the driver's standings, so you can only assume that they're running away with the constructors. And Axis and Gamer, I'm sure they're going to be battling it out here on track today. What have you seen much on that side, Miniko, I would ask? In terms of the Alpine, just seeing how well they've performed all season. Do they have a lot of on-track battles? Do they play pretty friendly, would you say?
I would say that. Obviously, at the end of the day, this is a team game for them, winning the team standings for not only Tier 2, but also the overall constructors. So there's a lot of communication between those two. They're working together very nicely. They've had a couple moments here and there, but all in all, they've managed to set themselves apart in a way in terms of not colliding too much and just grabbing as much points as possible. As you can clearly see, that has benefited them. 1-2 in the championship, as you mentioned. And on top of that, Alpine, they could very well win it this week. The constructors, if my math is correct, let me pull out the good old calculator over here. So, Alpine with 195 points, not 95, excuse me, there we go. They have 195 points. That is 72 points ahead of Williams. So they got quite a bit of a buffer behind them. They just can't be outscored by a total of 29 points, because if Williams want to take it, they have to make sure that they grab that extra point due to Alpine winning half the season. So Alpine, they have quite a bit of a comfort gap. They just need to make sure that Williams don't exactly have the success that they've had this entire season.
I mean, and just looking at the constructors from P3 down, there's a gap of just 44 points between them. So I mean, there's a lot that can go on, but it seems like 1 and 2, it's going to be Alpine and Williams. Williams putting their last hopes up for this week and next.
Yeah, they definitely are. And City of R, OC Dreams, they've done a pretty good job. City of R has had 1 win, 1 P2, 1 P3, so he's had some good moments. Dreams, however, not exactly having the best of times. He only has 1 P3 to his name, just barely off of the, actually, well, I say barely, but a bit of a ways off of the top 10 in the standings. He's not exactly had the best of times, so we'll see if he's able to pick it up. But Sativar, he's been doing the goods, but they're going to need a miracle if they want to catch Alpine.
Alrighty, well, with that being said, we are 4 minutes underway into quality, so why don't we go ahead and start showing some of the racing that's going on here. Some of these hot laps of the fellas, and Right now we're on board with Zeech, but I think he's just warming up on a hot lap while ERS Ardell puts in a 129.1 for the first benchmark today, which isn't going to be too shabby, I would say.
Yeah, it's a pretty solid benchmark as Brady Axe comes across the line, and he's just under 4/10 behind Ardell. So it's a pretty good lap time from the AlphaTauri, who I have claimed for this week. He was in Tier 3 before, now he is in Tier 2, and, well, he seems to already be on the pace. And, well, there goes my full-time AlphaTauri driver of Merc going up to second place. So it's good to see the AlphaTauri looking good.
Yeah.
But, yeah, Ardell setting a pretty good benchmark. Nobody able to beat it yet, but we're going to have to wait for the Alpines because they're going to be the ones to watch.
Most definitely, and I am sitting on board with our man, Gamer, who is just starting a hot lap right now and had to avoid some slower moving cars around turn 3. It wasn't too bad. It looked like it was his teammate, actually. But yeah, I think he is coming up, as he sets a purple sector 1 for himself. Yeah, he's coming up to a little bit more traffic, and I believe these are a few of those drivers who just recently set a lap, so hopefully they're pretty aware here of what this fast man is doing right behind him as he literally just drives past the stopped car. A Red Bull, looks like.
Yeah, he did. He's very committed, and that it wasn't actually a purple sector 1. Unfortunately, he was a 10th.5 off of Ardell, so not exactly having the pace through sector 1. We'll see what sector 2 is saying as he's coming across the split. It's a 37.5. Once again, a 10th.5 off the fastest time. So he's not exactly had the pace in this first lap, but it'd still be a decent enough time. If he can get the lap together, it should be enough for at least, I would say, a top 5. But he could potentially gain a lot in sector 3. Seemed pretty tiny to me there.
Let's see how he takes it. He does a slight lift on the final turn, exactly what you want to do. He gets that throttle down, and he's good enough for P3. Splits Fatweed and City of R, who are managed to get themselves in between the AlphaTauris while we were watching that hot lap.
Yeah, Gamer gained a 10th.5 on Ardell on that final sector, so it was very committed for him. Simon just came across the line. He went up to 8th place, a decent lap time for the Aston Martin. Just seeing who else could potentially be on a lap. Axis. All right, this is the man we need to watch out for.
Right.
Axis. He's the guy. 3 pole positions to his name. He's going to go for 4th. Let's see how this lap pans out.
Yeah, we'll go ahead and stick on board with our Drivers' Championship leader with 101 points to his name, the only man in the triple digits, but there are 2 drivers close by, so you know this is worth quite a lot here. This is just his first run, so you gotta think that he's gonna learn a little bit this run, put on some new softs, and come back out and hopefully improve. But let's see what he's got for this first time here. Coming through sector 2, just misses that curb there. Kind of exactly how you want to do it. That curb will unsettle you, and braking right at the 50-meter board. Probably the trickiest part of the entire track is right here. Coming through the bridge beautifully, hits the brakes, late apex. Because of this DRS zone, you want to open it up early. He does that pretty well, I might say. And now trying to open up this turn as much. He doesn't take it as wide as probably folks in Tier 1 will be doing later this evening. I think he might be able to eke out a bit more minimum speed through that corner. And here he comes to the final chicane. With Dreams now into the 28s, and Axis 3/10 behind him. So he does beat Ardell, who set the benchmark and was the first one across the start-finish line today in this quali session. The Dreams is looking pretty quick, I would say. 3/10.
Yeah, he definitely is.
Yeah.
That is one heck of a banker lap. There are definitely some more lap times yet to be posted from Chazzy and Landsharky, but that's still a massive, massive lap time. Nearly half a second off of the previous fastest time of Ardell, who's now been knocked down to 3rd. He's on an outlap though, so he's going to try and best that. But Dreams, if he's trying to keep Williams' hopes alive, that lap is definitely putting a light on in Giants fans' eyes for
And
that one.
you just never know what's going to happen here at Singapore, whether it's turn
Yeah.
one, whether it's in the middle of the race with someone crashing and taking themselves out like I did in Tier 5 and bringing the first safety car. Yeah, you don't know if people are going to keep it clean or not, so it's going to be interesting. See how the
It
race
definitely
develops.
will.
Yeah.
I mean, this race has always devolved into chaos one way or another, believe me. I have been on the bad side of it. For those that were in Tier 1 2 seasons ago, you guys know.
Oh, yes.
You know it too, because you actually commentated it.
Yes.
Yeah. Not very fond memories from quite a few people. Yeah. There can be good racing, though, that is for sure, but there can also be a bit of chaos.
As Chazzy scrapes the wall through that little, just before the bridge section, but it looks like the car's okay, his tire's okay. He's up to a 103 through Sector 2. And then, yeah, we'll see what Chazzy's going to do here, and we'll jump back on board with Ardell. That was a little bit close, wasn't it?
A little bit between himself and City of R. Move a little bit too late, and he would have been in the wall as he actually taps the wall at the penultimate corner. He's going to come around the final corner. What's the lap going to be for the Mercedes? Up to second.
Wow, he's going to beat out Axis with that. Okay.
And very good lap from the Mercedes. We'll see. Nobody able to get within 0.3 of Dreams, though. So that's very, very interesting. So maybe people are potentially just a little bit off the pace, or maybe just setting a decent banker, as we have somebody joining the media box, and he's back. Okay, never mind. We ignore that. It was just somebody going in for interviews. I believe that was P3, or P2, sorry, in Tier 3. So there you go. KDM getting P2. I think process 1, if I am not mistaken. So well done to Process for winning the Singapore Grand Prix in Tier 3. Just gonna quickly mention that.
Yeah, oh man. It's huge. I know Process is going to be happy about that.
I mean, I'm also happy as well at the same time, because Dan, my Tier 3 driver, just went from a disqualification in qualifying to P4.
Oh my gosh.
He had one heck of a race. Process, you can't really take that away from Process, though. He got the win. So, not going to take that off him, but Dan having a good one as well. AlphaTauri, where is this coming from? Where has this been throughout the entirety of the season? I need more.
Well, Ardell might surprise you a little bit here. Let's see if he can best his time, and he's going to come across.
He's actually validated.
Yeah, oh, yeah, I didn't notice that. Oh, it must have been at the very last turn or so, or I just wasn't paying attention.
Might have been, but yeah, not ideal for Ardell, but he might. And he'll go back into the pits and set another one. City of R going up into second. It's a Williams 1-2.
There we go. Okay, okay.
Alpine, what do you have in response? What's going on?
The only two drivers in the 128s.
Yeah. So, that Williams looking really quick here in Tier 2. Does anybody have a response for it, though? Alpine doesn't seem to have one yet. AlphaTauri doesn't have one. Chazzy doesn't have one either. Nobody able to get close to them, but who knows? Not quite the end of qualifying. Oh, somebody does have an answer. Zeech, you want to have a second. There we go.
Oh, okay.
They're slowly closing in that gap between Dreams and themselves.
Right.
But still not able to get within 0.2.
They're figuring things out. I was taking a look at it's Screechy, I believe, is how you would say his name.
I call it Try.
Try. Yes, let's do that. I like that.
That might be the way to go.
Yes, okay. I could use.
Max just said in the chat, your laugh sounds like Seth Rogen when he laughs.
Yeah. I've had that mentioned before.
Well, there you have it. So Kiss My Axe, I'll just formally say it for him. Yes. There you go. Oh, another person just went up into second fastest. Fatweed.
Fatweed. Oh my god.
Going up into second.
Fatweed is quick. Yeah.
Second becoming a very favorable spot for everybody, but everybody's allergic to P1 except for Dreams right now. What is happening?
Second, third, and fourth are all within a tenth, which is insane.
Madness. And also, P1 all the way down to P12 are all within 1 second. More specifically, under 9/10. Very close margins, but Dreams still leading the way. Will, what kind of lap was that from Dreams? Because that was his only lap. That is just impressive. I don't have words for that.
Yeah, we missed it. We didn't see any of it.
We didn't, no. It's just there's so many people having mistakes or something. Speaking of mistakes, Landsharky is actually missing a front wing. Not sure what's happened to him there, but yeah, quite a lot of things already going on in qualifying. It's only qualifying too.
Yeah, and now after maybe there was 2 guys out, it felt like it was just Chazzy and I think your boy in the Ardell, and then a whole slew of them went out, and now everyone's back in the pits again. 3.5 minutes to go. See if anyone can make that final push.
Yeah, everybody just in the pits. Well, somebody though is going to leave the pits by the looks of it. Seems to be a Mercedes, but they're waiting quite a bit. Who's potentially leaving the pits? No, don't tell me that Mercedes told him to leave. Oh my god.
Oh, okay.
You caught that too, right? That Mercedes guy waited for the other Mercedes to leave, and then he went, and now he's sandwiched between between 2 Red Bulls.
Yeah, it glitched out. It looked like it glitched out. Like both the Mercedes looked to get out, but then all of a sudden one was behind a Red Bull.
Chazzy just got favored over Andy. That is, wow. Favoritism at its finest. What is this?
Speaking of Andy, he's down here in 15th. He's probably not too happy with a 130.4.
Nah, definitely not. And considering how his season has been, if I look over at the standings, he's currently in P8. He actually went down to P8 after last week. He's not having a terrible season, but yeah, probably not the position that he wants to be. But qualifying, I don't think has ever been his strong suit. It's just more so what he can do in the race, which, of course, the race more important than qualifying. I say that every time.
Yeah.
And it always pays dividends for me in Tier 1. So Andy, taking a page out of my book, you could say. So
he's pretty dangerous and no assists. He catches up to you guys quick sometimes late in those races.
I mean, I've had pace over him too.
Oh yeah.
I'll just say that I've had my moments. You've had your moments too. We all have our moments. Speaking of which, tune into NA after Tier 2 and Tier 1. You have to. It's gonna be one heck of a race.
Yeah, our man Pat's gonna be there.
Yes, he's always gonna be there. The slander will begin and continue. We love a bit of slander.
Okay, so there's a little shuffling of cars just before this final chicane here, and it looks like Mr. Old School 75 is going to be the first one to start these final runs. And let's go ahead and sit on board with him, and we will just try to watch this insane finish to quali here. But yeah, Mr. Old School, do your best for our team Red Bull. As you can see, the Red Bull gear on my... Oh, and he's going to hit the wall. Okay, and we're going to go ahead and move to one of our gentlemen in the Mercedes now.
Just take off the Red Bull gear, go over to Mercedes, and then, yeah, a little bit of shuffling. But no. Old School still seems to be going with it, though, but that definitely lost them a bunch of time. Chazzy, he goes through the first sector. He's 2 tenths up. Purple sector 1.
Yeah, that's who I'm on board with now. I just saw that that horrible turn 2, and I just was like, let's get off of this.
Never mind.
Chazzy's coming up on him right now, really quick. Yeah, so he pulls off to the side smartly.
Yeah, very smart positioning. He's going to have to be sure. The other Mercedes of Andy, which he negotiates through, but Chazzy still going roundabout on his lap. He's making his way over to the Sector 2 split. How much is he up on his time? No, he's actually lost time in Sector 2. He's only 900s up.
Yeah, that's not a lot, but it could be the difference of one position still, which can help you, especially with how crazy turn 1 might be. He is really pushing it on that curve, just with that final chicane. Zeech retires. Looks like he's out. Chazzy goes P2. Oh my gosh!
Wow! 9,000ths of a second, rated axis. Oh, Dreams sets an even faster benchmark with a 28.5.
Okay.
It's all kicked off. Ardell, he's gonna come across line. What can he do? Goes up to third,
wow.
Some decent improvement there. What about the Haas? Yorkster can't do anything of it. The Alpine.
Axes! Oh my gosh!
Axis on the provisional
Oh,
pole.
and we were there with that.
Try can't do anything of it, but what about Gamer? All right, Alpine versus Alpine. Which Alpine comes out on top? It's Axis at the top. Gamer can only go up into third. As Simon goes up into fourth. Improvements coming left, right, and center right now, but Axis on provisional pole.
And now City of R.
800.
Coming up through the final chicane. What does he have to say about all this craziness at the end? Fatweed's invalidated. It's just him now. He's the only one left across the line. And it's not going to be any much better.
Wow, okay, so Axis, he was I'm going to be honest. Axis was very, very quiet in the beginning half of that qualifying. He just slaps the lap time good enough to grab his fourth pole. What a lap.
So our Drivers' Championship leader does well for himself and outbeats Dreams, who seemed to be, the fastest guy in this session. But yeah, he beats him by 77 hundredths. Dreams in P2, Gamer in P3, Alpine looking to finish the penultimate race strong with those guys running right there. Simon Colston, I believe, is a reserve driver in for Aston Martin in P4. Chazzy Bott from Mercedes in P5. Ardell in the AlphaTauri for Minico in P6. Fatweed in the other Aston Martin, P7. Zeech, P8. City of R, P9. And Braided Axe, P10 to round out our points positions. And as I was taking too long to explain and wanted to give a beautiful detail, we miss out on the rest of the pack, but that's okay because we'll see exactly how things change pretty shortly here.
We get the top 10. That's the ideal part. Sam's looking through now. Merck lines up in P11 in the other AlphaTauri. So AlphaTauri not having a terrible qualifying, P6 and P11. So not bad from them. Shry lines up in 12th alongside Andy. Old School in 14th. And Zjordster in the Haas. Not exactly the qualifying he would have wanted. But, again, it's only qualifying. Landsharky in P16, followed by MB Jacobson, who I think he's reserving up a tier, no? I don't remember.
That's a good question.
I might have to look that up. At some point. But either way, he lines up P17. Happy Like Pies in P18, and Freddie, who was serving a qualifying ban for this session, lines up P19 for our 19 drivers. And Giants fan, to answer your question, Williams are P2 and P9 in qualifying. Dreams on the front row. City of R down in P9. There's your answer.
My Racing Tools app is working, unfortunately.
And I can confirm, by the way, MB Jacobson is reserving up. So, there we go. That's who that other Alfa Romeo is. See what he can do from all the way back down the grid as we're getting ready.
4 lights, 5, and away we go.
Maybe?
There we are. Finally, they're off. Axis, getting a pretty good start, has a pretty solid gap from James behind him. He's already pushing nearly close to 6/10. Everyone seems to keep it clean, but then there's a big collision. Yeah, there was a big collision. It said with Landsharky and someone else. Is there anyone missing that?
Might need to switch your camera, by the way. You are still on our two faces. It's okay. Not much was missed. It's okay. Yeah, I got you, Giants fan. Relax. I saw the message.
I think I'm known for that here, but anyways, as you mentioned, yeah, I don't see anyone. Landsharky got the 5-second penalty for a severe collision with someone. But was that under yellows already?
Yes, it was. We got it under yellows because there was a collision between Braided Axe and City of R. They're both down 9 positions. Braided Axe is completely missing a front wing. We're back to green racing, by the way, and Axis is leading the way at this point. Already 9/10 ahead of Dreams. He's flying.
Yeah, he got a really good restart for that virtual safety. And his teammate, Gamer, is riding pretty close to Dreams. Ardell, really, really fast behind on the softs. So it's going to be interesting to see. Oh, no, wait. Is he on softs? I don't think so.
He's on hards.
Yeah, let's go ahead. It's those red rims.
Nobody's on the red rims, interestingly. Everybody either going hards or mediums. Both Alpines went onto a set of mediums. Dreams onto a set of hards. So that's been an interesting strat. So Alpine looking to take the taking 1-2 straight off the bat. Gamer not quite able to do it, but still early days.
Early it is. Everyone keeping it nice and tidy. It's essentially a DRS train all the way from 1st to 18th. So once this DRS is activated, yeah, we're gonna start to see a little bit more shuffling of the cars here.
The question is whether Axis can pull away from Dreams up ahead. If you can pull out that 1 second, that will help out Gamer massively, as Dreams has a big moment at the exit, and that's just going to entice Gamer even more to try and potentially make a move. And Dreams is on that battery, trying to make sure he keeps up with Axis at the same time. So already, battery not looking well for Dreams straight off the bat. He's going to have to be careful, as Gamer is soon to be closing in on him.
Yeah, it looks like Freddy in the back is right on the tailpipe of Happy Like Pies, better known as Epic Wins. It looks like that might be the closest on-track battle for the moment.
Yeah, and looking over, just looking over at the positions. So top three staying exactly as they are. Ardell moving up 2 positions, so he's had a great start actually in that Alpine moving himself from 6th to 4th. So great start from him. Simon and Chazzy down 1, and the person that gained the most currently goes to Landsharky and Freddy. They're both up 5.
Yeah, Landsharky's got a pretty good start, even though he's got that 5-second penalty, and it's gonna hurt to serve at the end of the day. But as long as he stays with this pack right in front, he's gonna be okay. And he doesn't look to have any damage.
Yeah, I thought. Oh. Never mind then. He's okay then. I thought there was.
Axis is almost pushing out of that DRS range. Dreams, yeah, just trying to stay in touch of it. It doesn't look like he's going to be able to do much if this is how things stay. And then as we're coming up to the end of lap 3, Chazzy bot.
If there's one thing that I know about this track is that there's another thing that they're going to have to manage. It's not only just ERS and also gas and stuff. Tires. The tires are going to be a bit of a problem here. They overheat very badly. So drivers are going to really have to keep those tire temperatures in check if they want to extract the maximum out of this Grand Prix. It's looking over at tire temperatures. It looks like a couple people are overheating just a little bit. So overheating already becoming a bit of an issue.
And not too many guys choosing to go with the medium tires, which is kind of interesting. I've been seeing that folks suggesting the strat is mediums to hards here. So yeah, I don't know if a few of these hard runners were perhaps expecting a safety car to come out and help them extend these lives a little bit to run mediums at the end, but we'll have to wait and see.
Well, one thing's for sure is that no matter what the tire strategy is, Axis is starting to pull quite a bit of a gap, and that's going to allow Gamer to try and get past Dreams, and he instantly go for it on the inside into turn 7. Dreams just lets it happen. He knows he's on the faster tire, and it's an Alpine 1-2.
And I mean, the smarter drivers kind of know, right, not to battle too long. You're only going to slow each other down. But Dreams is just losing these Alpines, man. He cannot stick with them by any means, it seems like.
It seems to me that he just can't get a handle of the hard compounded tires, so he seems to be struggling a little bit. And the second highest hard runner, that being the AlphaTauri of Ardell,
right,
it's all over the back of him, so he could be struggling with those hard compounded tires.
But Dreams is going to have that help of DRS, have the help of Slipstream by being a little bit closer to Gamer than he was to Axis. But now he's coming under attack.
Go for it.
And he's just going to let that happen too. Wow. He doesn't do any defensive maneuvers.
Pretty smart. It's early on, of course. We're only just ending lap 4, so no need to go for anything crazy. but Ardell certainly trying to make an impression on these guys, though he is a bit low on ERS. I say that, though, and pretty much everybody is low on ERS, so the battery is being used quite a bit already, and we're only 5 laps in.
Yeah. What would you say the crossover is on these tires here? I know we're coming up on lap 5, and the front two, and these Alpine drivers are both running mediums, and the next two behind them are on hards. You think the mediums probably got another, what, 3 laps of you know, like maybe faster pace in them than these hards, possibly?
Well, if I remember correctly, I believe the pit window for the medium compounded tires will be around about lap 16, lap 15, or something like that. So I think the drop-off point could very well occur just a few laps beforehand. I would say probably lap 10 or lap 11 would be around about the point when those mediums will start to die off and the hards will be the faster tire. And then they're just going to have to stick out a little bit longer before they go onto a set of fresh hards and go for that precious undercut. So they're going to have to manage that.
Okay. And Ardell is playing himself into a pretty good hand here. He is nearing Gamer pretty quickly.
Big moment from Dreams off the exit of turn 14. Nearly just went straight into the wall. He's all good, luckily, but a bit of a scary moment there for Williams.
Yeah, I don't know if he got a little bit turbulent air.
He is really struggling. He does not seem to have that rear end under control in the low speed corners.
Oh, yeah.
So maybe a bit of a too oversteery of a setup.
And like as you said, the tire temperatures, especially the rears, it can be, that's the most difficult thing to keep the coolest when you don't want them to get above 104 degrees Celsius.
Very true. He's managing to just keep it on the back of Ardell and Gamer. Gamer not quite able to pull away from these guys on the mediums, which is definitely hurting him because the more those mediums are going to wear off, the more the hard tire is going to seem to be the better tire.
And Fatweed pulls out alongside of Ozich, makes the move. He's got the hard tires, so there is a difference in tires advantage here as well. Zeech seems to be struggling a bit. Go ahead and join these
mediums.
crew up top.
Medium's not quite working well for some, working better for others. As I believe Simon has made up a couple spots. No, he's actually down a position, but he's starting to claw back to the guys in front of him, and he's pulling Chazzy along with him, which is actually helping Chazzy more than anything, as he is on the hard compounded tire. Simon on the mediums. So they're slowly starting to reel in the guys in front, and it could be very well a 5-horse battle for P2 in just a moment's time as Zeech and Fatweed just further back going at it, wheel to wheel down the straight. Who's going to come out on top? Zeech has that inside line. Fatweed trying to go around the outside, but Zeech able to put the squeeze on him. And Zeech gets back ahead. Yellow flag, and that looks to be Simon. Simon's out of the race. That's
Oh, wow.
Car.
We missed that. I'm not sure exactly what happened, but I see Ardell down a spot. I know him and Gamer seem to be battling somewhat.
Ardell's got damage. I think
so they were
Ardell
both involved in that.
tried to go for a move. I think Ardell tried to go for a move on Gamer. They both made contact, and that allowed Dreams to actually claw his way back through because he's back up into second place. But Ardell now suffering front wing damage.
Yeah.
Gamer, I don't think he has any damage, but that is just absolutely heartbreaking for the AlphaTauri because he has to pit.
Yeah, he's missing that front left end plate. It's not going to help him, especially around this track where there's 90-degree turns. So yeah, he's definitely going to be pitting here. He's going to change those tires, and it's probably going to hurt his strategy there as well, because there's quite a bit of laps to still go, and he started this race on the hards. Yeah,
so I'm pretty sure in order to salvage this race, he has to go medium at the very least. It's probably the strategy they might have to do. It is very doable, but the mediums. Now the mediums will still do fine. They'll be fine even after the second pit stop. But yeah, he definitely has quite a bit of work to do because he's gonna have to change that front wing. He's gonna lose a couple spots. Actually, he might only lose like 2 or 3. Whoa. Okay. Near on collision between Ardell and Gamer there. I don't know if you caught that.
I did not. Yeah, I've been trying to look at other stuff on the screen.
Right, okay. It was very close. It looked to me like Dreams just checked up a little bit, and Gamer obviously stomped on the brakes. Ardell doing the exact same thing as well, nearly hitting the back of Gamer. As both Alpines are into the pits, Ardell as well, unsurprisingly, and same with Shazzy. 5-second time penalty for Gamer, though.
Wow.
That's gonna hurt.
Yeah.
He goes on to a fresh set of mediums.
So the first crew to pit was the Mr. Old School, Georgester, and Freddie Rizal. The pack of 4 in the back. That looks like they'll be catching up with a few. I don't think they're going to be able to gain any positions, but they were the first ones to pit, and the rest of the grid essentially pits here, except for Dreams, Fatweed, Merc, Andy, Happy Like Pie, City of R, and MB Jacobson. So 7 drivers choose to stay on the older tires, and will probably be under safety car for another 2 laps or so.
Actually gonna give a bit of credit here to Tier 2. The fact that it took them 7 laps, 6 laps to have our first safety car, I think that's more than all of the other tiers. So, well, actually, then again, they had a virtual safety car, but it wasn't a full course, so yeah. You know what, I'll take it. I'll take it. So, fair play at Tier 2, you survived this long. Now we're just gonna have to see how that's gonna...
Typically, when one safety car comes, it doesn't mean or bode well for the rest of the grid. Yeah, it usually just bunches everyone up. Those egos battling for position. Yeah, some fun usually happens. So we'll see.
Safety cars breed safety cars.
I mean,
it's an old saying, but a very well-known saying.
I was the one to bring out the safety car, I think, in lap 10, which was the first one in Tier 5, and then after me, it was like another safety car, like not even one racing lap after that had restarted, and then another safety car after that. It's a mess.
Okay, so I have a bit of info on what happened, which caused Simon to go out of the race. Apparently, at some point during all that, Gamer actually went into AI.
Oh,
so,
no!
Due to that, something must have happened with his AI, which caused him to back up into Ardell, which obviously caused him to check up and get that front wing damage. Dreams was just able to maneuver his way through. Simon, however, couldn't react.
Oh,
and that's what caused him out of the race. So I think that could very well be a penalty for Gamer.
Well, he just went back into the pits to serve that 5-second penalty. He puts on some softs. Yeah, well, you can only imagine he's going to go softs to mediums. I imagine he's got a second set of mediums. That'll be interesting to see. Or if he goes back onto the hards to finish the race. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll just have to see. And apparently I'm getting info from people in the chat here, specifically Henry, who won, I believe he won Tier 4, if I'm not mistaken, in which, Henry, can I just say this real quick? Congratulations on your win. Very well deserved. But he was saying that Axis passed Happy under the safety car. I actually caught that a little bit. I don't know what was up with that, but Axis is now ahead of Happy.
Right.
Ahead of Happy. Not sure what happened.
Who knows?
Yeah, well, somebody must know.
Happy probably knows.
Oh, he definitely knows. The safety car is going to be in this lap.
All right, we're going to go ahead and ride on board with Dreams. And get that beautiful rear view look of that Williams Racing wing and the drivers.
Yeah, make Giants fan happy.
The drivers behind him. Looking to jump to start with him. So yeah, you know, we love you, Giants fan. Williams.
Stop winning Tier 1, please.
Yes, Ken Williams, please calm down in Tier 1 for everyone, please. And let's see, Dreams is about to get things going, and he does. Catches Fatweed somewhat off guard, as he's about a half a second ahead. We've got
already going for it.
action back behind us as an Alpine goes up on the inside of another car. Looks like that was the Mercedes of Andy.
Yeah, Axis just getting ahead of Andy pretty easily done into turn 1. Andy didn't really bother to fight that. Pretty smart because Axis is on a much faster tire. And look at that, he's already on the back of Merc and he's going to go for it. He's going to put himself back on the podium. Gets the move done.
Just like that.
Oh, and there's a big crash actually on the straight. That's Chazzy and MB
Oh
Jacobson.
no!
That has just had a big moment on the straight. That's caused a virtual safety car. Nobody's out. But MB Jacobson has completely lost his front wing. And Chazzy was just completely backwards. He's been disqualified.
What?
How's that happened? He was just trying to rejoin the track, and now he's out of the race.
What? We were with him. He had things going. He wasn't stopped on track. I am confused.
That is just heartbreaking. Absolutely heartbreaking for Mercedes. Virtual safety car is out, so it's not a full course, but Chazzy, he was looking good. He was roundabout in the top 6, and that has just completely ruined him. And he's not even going to get points out of this.
Yeah.
Through something that he couldn't even control.
That's a bummer.
Big question is, though, what happened between himself and MB Jacobson? That's the big thing.
Yeah, I'd like to hear a little bit more and see what develops from that. I'm sure that's going to be an incident submission.
Oh, no doubt. Not sure.
We're getting underway pretty soon here. Hopefully no one catches any drive-through penalties as this VSC, excuse me, can be a little bit tricky. A little bit of iRacing bleeding into my brain here.
I mean, it's iRacing. Can't really get rid of it.
And we are green. Got some more cautions up ahead.
Oh!
Fatweed. Getting a little scary there.
Well, you say that, yeah, Freddy and Zeech just had a collision at the end of the virtual safety car. Exited turn 3. They're both down the order. And doesn't look like they have damage. But both of them making contact. What's the deal?
And we got the Red Bull of Mr. Old School and Alfa Romeo of Ebby Jacobson coming out of the pits. They'll be hoping for another safety car as Axis is thinking about a move up through this like S and bridge section of Singapore, but he thinks better of it. Just sticks right behind the tail of Fatweed. He goes really wide, takes a very late apex, and now it looks like he's going to have the advantage on this Aston Martin. Going to take the outside. And there's a little bit of contact. Oh, he gets squeezed into the wall. He has to fall right behind Fatweed again. So they are definitely fighting for this P2 really hard. I don't know if Fatweed necessarily has the pace to keep up as Dreams is pushing almost to a second and a half ahead of this pack now.
Yeah, Axis is not going to be happy about that, but he's going to have a second chance of life of doing that, and he's going to easily get that move done before they even make it into turn 1. He's up in the second place, but one thing's for sure is that's bunched up everybody behind them. And the next highest runner that did pit is Ardell, currently in 7th. He's starting to close his way back up onto these guys. He's on the back of Happy right now. He's going to want to get this move done if he wants any chance of trying to go for this win. I say that, though, Axis has got DRS on Dreams. Won't be able to make the move yet, but oh boy, he's tantalizingly close.
Yeah, DRS is active once again, as you mentioned. He sets up purple sector 1. It shows on the mini map.
Oh, there's contact. Andy's around. Oh, and it's a no.
Andy is just going down and down and down and down.
It's a safety car.
Okay.
Another safety car. Braden Axe getting a 5-second for collision. Oh. Well, that's definitely helped out some drivers, though. That's for sure.
It's a mess.
It really is a mess. I don't even know what happened. Did somebody hit the back of Andy? Did Andy just loop it? Whatever it may be, it's cost him. It's cost, I believe, Zeech as well, as he's down the order a little bit. And Gamer being a huge name in that, he's down the order. He's at a P13.
Well, remember, he went back in to serve that 5-second penalty, so he was in the back of the pack trying to catch back up.
That is true, but he was stuck behind Andy. So it definitely did cost him in some way.
Yes,
Seems to be okay though.
Land Sharky's missing a whole wing. He's going to have to come into the pits again. Let's take a look and see how many stops everyone's had. Fatweed still staying out. Interesting play there. Dreams.
A lot of people are pitting. A lot of people are pitting.
Taking his pit stop. Yeah, I mean,
double stack for AlphaTauri. Merc went into the pits. This is extremely helped the likes of Merc, Ardell, Dreams, City of Art. They're now on a fresh set of mediums. Everybody in front of them has wear on their tires. They're going to be rapid. They're going to claw their way up. This could be a bit interesting.
This is, I mean, they could ride these mediums the rest of the way, right? Hypothetically, we're going to have another, what, maybe 2 laps under safety car, so we'll get underway at earliest with lap 15 or 16. And, I mean, yeah, you could hypothetically ride those mediums the rest of the way.
Hypothetically, yes, you could. It's definitely going to take a little bit of tire nursing. Depends how bad their wear is. We'll just have to, just have to see that. And, wait a minute. Is that rain? Is that rain I'm seeing?
You see rain?
I'm seeing rain on the halo of some cars. It's raining.
There's sprinkle. It's sprinkling. You're right. Oh my god.
No way.
It's drizzling. I don't know how bad it's supposed to get. How many safety cars are we at?
Oh my gosh. This has just thrown this race into complete chaos now because we don't know how hard it's going to rain. We don't know when it's going to be time for inters. We don't know how hard or how long it's going to take for this rain to become inters. Oh boy.
Is this why Fatweed stayed out?
Maybe. So his strategy starting to make a little bit more sense in this. But at the same time, he's going to have such a pace deficit to drivers behind. But I can understand it now to a point.
Yeah, I mean...
Wow.
Like,
people are pitting.
Okay.
Fatweed and Axis
okay. Yeah, they're thinking, having some thoughts. They know exactly how slick Singapore is without the rain already. And with the rain coming onto some of these cameras, it's convincing them already to put these grooved tires on. You see some green tires, folks?
Oh boy. Now, this is a gamble, though, because if the rain doesn't come down hard enough, they are going to struggle. Tier 4 had pretty much this exact same situation. That situation happened to them, where the rain was there, but it didn't rain hard enough. So they're going to have to watch out for that. But definitely a bit of a gamble. And I have a bit of info now. Apparently my reserve driver is very good at giving me info on certain incidents. A Red Bull hit Andy.
Okay, it was either Happy Like Pies or Mr. Old School. It had to be Happy Like Pies.
Yeah, because Old School was way down the field.
Right.
And I'm starting to see droplets on the track.
Okay. Yeah. It is raining. It's starting to come down a little bit quicker than what it was earlier. That's how fast this can change at Singapore. Just look at that.
I mean, just seeing that, I'd go on to a set of inters.
So, it's just 2 drivers on inters right now, folks.
Oh yeah, they're in a brilliant position now because they don't necessarily have to push because the pit delta, they're gonna lose like 30 seconds. And once again, of course it had to be, it's the Alpine of Axis that is the highest runner that's gonna benefit from this. The fact that he's always in this position, it's incredible.
And this is what, our 3rd safety car?
I think...
With VSC?
I think it's our... Actually, if the VSCs count as like a safety car tick, I think we've already run out of safety cars.
Okay.
Actually, no. I think...
I forget.
We might still have a couple. I don't know.
Maybe
way,
1 or 2, right?
In this lap.
Yeah.
This track is drenched. This track is absolutely drenched.
It's yeah, and we're having a restart right now under the rain with a little bit of drizzle. Let's go ahead and join our race leader right now, Freddie. Well, what's he gonna do? He's on, and he's going to get straight into the pits.
I don't blame him for doing that for 1 second. I don't blame him.
I'm just gonna stick with him real quick. because that is great. I mean, right? No, he had to, just seeing how slippery it was going into that. Let's go ahead and join Zeech now, who is barely coming across turn 2, and it looks like he's skating. He's definitely aquaplaning here.
Are we sure we're not in Canada and we're on ice skates right now? Because they seem to be driving like they have ice skates. Like they cannot put the power down at all. And Axis and Batweed, they're just licking their lips because they're P1 and P2.
Oh, yeah.
Batweed could very well look for a move on Axis. Is he going to try it? No, Axis is going to go down the inside on that Sharky. There's more chaos going on up front, though. After like Pie, Siege, Trees, they're all going mad up front. They can't get a handle.
This is insane. Zeech is, all over the place. He was under attack and sandwiched by that Red Bull, and Dreams finally up ahead, coming into this crazy section. Oh, they gotta be so delicate on the throttle here, we know.
Might need to switch the camera, by the way, because we're not getting the full, actually. We're getting a bit of it, but it's still chaos. There's like 6 or 7 cars.
Oh my god, oh my god.
You saw what I saw too, yeah? What is happening? This is probably the most chaotic thing I've seen.
Oh, we got a car sideways!
Say that!
Oh, he's lost the wing!
What is happening? It's a full course safety car.
Okay.
Everybody can calm down. What was that?
Yeah, we definitely could have probably followed some of the action a little bit better there, folks, but yeah, it was insane.
You got a gist of it, I'll say that. You got quite a bit of it. That is madness. This helps Dreams, Merc. Those that didn't pit yet, they have been helped by this a little bit because they could very well come out ahead of the likes of Freddy and the others. But oh my goodness, Fatweed is now leading this race.
Yes, he is.
Incredible.
Played his hand pretty well, I would say.
No doubt. I mean, considering what was going on, Axis. I'll say this though, I was on board with Axis for a majority of it. So Gamer obviously let Axis by, and he was trying to make his way up the field. And he tried to go for the move on, I think, City of R, if I'm not mistaken. It might have been City of R. But then he just completely dropped down the field, and there was even more contact up ahead, specifically at turn 16. Was it turn 16? No, sorry, turn 14. I apologize.
Right.
And then there was just like 8 or 9 cars parked in one spot. To the point where Fatweed was able to make his way through the pack. He's now into P1. Axis is now down into P2. Braided Axe, what are you doing?
Yeah.
What are you doing? Can't you see it? It is not it.
He's like, it's gonna stop soon. It's humid. It's gonna dry up.
It'll look like it, I'm not gonna lie. Oh my goodness, this is chaotic. And out of all this, there is still a Drivers and Constructors Championship to be won.
Oh man. I mean, Axis is pretty safe so far with Dreams in 8th and City of R outside of the points right now.
And in the Drivers Championship as well, because actually, wait, who has the fastest lap? Oh, Axis has got the fastest lap. He's got that for sure. So he's looking at 19 points. Gamer's looking at 0. Axis could very well leave this race becoming the Drivers Champion.
You're right. Yeah, I don't think anyone's gonna. I don't think if this track dries up at all, if this rain even just stays this light, yeah, no one's getting any faster than that.
Yeah, and although I say that, yes, the gap would be 26 points because he's obviously ahead by 7. But if he does get P18 plus that fast lap, it'd be 19 points, would be 26. However, that means he'd only have 2 wins. Actually, no, I take it back. He needs to win this race. I take it all back. He needs to win the race if he wants to take the championship, because if Axis finishes the P2 exactly where he is, yes, he'd have the gap. But let's say they play DNFs and Gamer wins with the fastest lap, he would take it on countback of wins. So that's something to watch out for if that does happen.
Oh man, there's so many different crazy combinations that can happen. Braided Axe is still out here on mediums. What is this man doing? But Freddy Rizal up 15. I want to mention this, up 15 positions. The man of the Ferrari playing his hand pretty decently.
Yeah, obviously he had that qualifying ban from last week. I don't remember what happened that gave him that qualifying ban, but either way, it seems that the qualifying bans just don't exist for this man because of 15 positions. He's back in his usual position because right now, if you look at it, he's P9 in the standings, but he has finished in P2 before. He's in the top 5. He's looking at a podium. So Freddie is back in his usual spot, you'd say.
Yeah, and I think he's going to get past Braided X pretty quickly once this race restarts.
I'll tell you who's been really screwed by this. It's Ardell and the AlphaTauri. He pitted.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, he pitted. He's down 11 positions. When that safety car came out, he went on to a fresh set of inters, which, to be fair, not a bad call by any means. I can respect that because now he's going to have the best pace in theory. But if he wants any hope of this win, you mean to tell me he has to make up 16 positions in, if my math is correct, 14 laps? Come on.
Yeah, without DRS available too, yeah, I don't think so.
It's not looking likely. However, it is Singapore.
Exactly. I think we got one more safety car left in the bank.
Maybe. To think how this race started. We had a virtual safety car, and then we had quite a few laps of running. And then safety car, safety car, safety car, safety car. Lap 17, we may be on one, or we may not be on any at all. Fatly leading this race. Like, what?
Yep, let's see how he chooses to start things off. I would hope that Braided Axe, he's already gone. He's already gone. Let's see what Braided Axe does. He stays out.
What is this man doing? I think he forgot he's in tier 2, not tier 4.
Oh!
And there's nearly contact between drivers as Merc gets ahead, and Happy Like Pies and Braided Axe make contact a little bit. Nothing crazy, but he is just falling down the back.
Yeah. Oh, he goes sideways. He gets a little squirrely there.
There is no grip, no tires. Nearly gets dive bombed by the McLaren of Landsharky. He does not have grip. Oh boy.
What was he thinking? What was he thinking?
Well, remember how I said that in tier 4 he had the situation earlier?
Oh, no!
How did that not? How was that not contact?
I'm just following him right now. Like, I want to see what damage he's going to do to the
And he's got front wing damage, that's for sure.
He's almost...
Oh boy.
Okay.
And now he is officially... Not quite. Hold up, hold up, hold up. He's officially dead last. From P3 to P17 in less than 2 sectors. Well done, Braided Axe. The call was not in.
I mean, we just got to give him an applause for that, guys.
Yeah, that is that. Yeah, not much else to say on that. Except round of applause to Braided Axe for falling down the most positions in a single lap, let alone 2 sectors. Fair play.
Man. In fact,
you win flop strategy of the season.
Yeah, exactly. We need to add that. Oh my god. We definitely need to add that, like the flop decision of the year of this season.
This wins. This is the very top of the leaderboard. But nonetheless, we're gonna ignore him. He's out of the question and go back over to the lead. Fatweed still leading this race from Axis, from Freddie. Freddie's actually made himself back up into 3rd. Merc up into 4th. Merc up into 4th. How did that happen?
He's
That's out of nowhere.
You know, there's just been a lot of craziness going on, as you can say, and he's managed to stay out of it.
That is very true. So yeah, Merc looking good. He's actually on the freshest inters of the top 4, so he has the pace advantage in theory. So it's looking good for him, but we'll see if he has the pace.
And honestly,
Axis really under pressure for Freddie here.
Yeah, like I was about to mention, like Freddie looks like he's got a bit more pace in this rain than both Axis and Fatweed ahead of him. So I think it's just a matter of time when he makes his moves. As he thinks about going up the inside, a little bit of space is left by Axis. There's pretty good gentlemanly behavior going on, but that's only going to hurt Freddie as he doesn't try to take advantage of that and has to back off a little bit more than expected. Yeah, the apex.
It's just a little bit of argy-bargy, nothing serious, no bad contact, no front wings flying, so, you know, at the end of the day, you can easily call that as just racing. Nothing more than that. But, yeah, Freddie unable to make the move on Axis. Meanwhile, Dreams just a little bit further back. And the other Ferrari of Shry, he moves up into 6th. So he's starting to make his way up to the field. And he's got fresh inters. He's got pretty fresh inters as well. 4 laps on those tires, so he is looking pretty good. We'll see if he's able to make his way up the order any further than that, though, is the question.
Yeah, it seemed like a pretty buttery smooth overtake from Dreams there, but he's got a little bit of a ways to catch up to that Red Bull up ahead. He's just under a second now, and Epic wins, or Happy Like Pies, maybe I should say. Seems to be struggling a little bit. I hear him locking up his tires ever so slightly, as he does again with the front left, but he's still right in the slipstream of Merc. And, I mean, essentially, this is a battle for P1, right? This is a 5-car battle for P1 right now, and Dreams is trying to insert himself into it.
It's more of an 8-car battle for P1. Because everybody from P1 down to P8 is within a second of each other. It is tight between these guys. Brady Dax has retired in the pits.
And there he goes.
Outside.
He's had enough.
Somebody else running onto a set of slicks, and it's old school. No, actually, hold on a minute. Hold on a second. It stopped raining.
Right. I was about to say that. It stopped raining. It's still a little bit slick. But, I mean, it's going to dry up, you would think, in 2 or 3 laps, right? At least the racing line? There's no more drizzle. Copy.
So now the question is how quickly is this track going to dry? And, well, at this stage, you would easily go onto a set of softs, because they can easily make it to the end. But the question is, how long until they have the chance to go on to a set of softs? That's going to be the big difference. But, yeah, a bit crazy. Rain in the middle of the race, but it will still dry up near the end, where it was dry at the start.
Yeah, I can't tell if that's just like a little bit of mist from the water, or if that's just engine heat from these cars driving so close. But I think the track is pretty close to dry now as well.
I mean, there's no spray. I'm not seeing any spray at all. As Freddie's looking for it on the turn into the next corner, and he gets it done.
Yes.
Brilliant move into turn 7. He's up into 2nd place. Freddie looking good for the win. I'll tell you that. He's looking mighty quick.
Yeah, like I mentioned, he's feeling pretty confident on this slick track here, as he's now trying to gauge a move and really time it perfectly on Fatweed, who has done his best to try to lead this race for 5 laps or so, or at least being the top 3.
Ever since the recent safety car, he's been leading.
That's right. He takes it a little bit tight into turn 14, and Freddie up into 1st now.
There you have it. Now, since he has the pace advantage, he's going to run away with it. And now, Fatweed could very well be under pressure from Axis. Axis trying to go for around the outside, but Fatweed covering it off beautifully, I must say. Just able to hit that apex very nicely. He's able to keep that guy in check. And they're going into the pits. They're diving into the pits.
Okay.
So the track here very well could be dry enough for a set of slicks at this stage.
All right, and yeah, it's going to be huge to see where these guys come out. We see Zeech, Jordster, and Mr. Old School were the first 3 to go back on to slicks. They chose mediums. So now these 2 drivers, Axis and the Fatweed, we got a mix of tire compositions, actually. Axis, Shry, and Landshark on the softs, Fatweed and Merc on the mediums. They do come out up ahead of Zeech, it looks like, but just ever so slightly.
I don't disagree with that call onto a set of inters. I can understand the softs as well, because obviously the softs, they'll be quick, but they will die off. The mediums, however, they'll have that longevity throughout the entirety of the race. So I can understand from both perspectives as to why they went for that tire. The question is who can handle it the best? Fatweed, he's net leading this race, I believe. I'll have to look at the gaps. And actually, they might have timed this wrong. They're losing time to Freddie.
Yeah, we're riding on board with Freddie right now, who he's got a nice 3-second gap between himself and Happy Like Pies, who just turns himself around. Oh no!
Ooh.
Slowing the pack down a little bit more and giving Freddie even more cushion. Now 5 seconds almost between him and Dreams. Let's see what Freddie decides to do. He is going into the pits. So the race leader now in
I don't know about that.
19 seconds from Ardell the Fatweed. Yeah, I don't think these Fatweed and everyone else behind him is gonna get this. The Ferrari's already out.
Well, Fatweed was 30 seconds behind Freddie when Freddie went into the pits. So I think that they were on the right path, but I don't think they didn't time it right. I don't think they timed it right.
Wow.
They didn't, because Freddie's just leaving the pits
Look at
now,
this.
and he's
Look
going to
at
be
this.
well clear of Fatweed by the time he exits.
Wow, and look at how big of a difference that change just one lap later does for you.
Incredible. He's gotten a near enough 4.6 second gap to Fatweed, and he's on a fresher set of tires. DRS is now enabled. Again, I don't disrespect the call, but it was just that little bit too early.
Oh man, and it's such a tough call to make, but yeah, they decided to do it on lap 21 or lap 22, excuse me, and Freddie comes in on lap 23 for a fresh of new softs, and he's gonna have these softs for a pretty fresh stint these final 8 laps or so.
Yeah, it definitely is. There's a yellow flag further back, though. Landsharky has made a mistake. He's managed to keep the car going, and there seems to be no damage in sight. So he's managed. So all good there. But yeah, like the calls weren't bad. I can understand it. This track is so long, like in terms of lap time, that
Right.
the track can change within a matter of a lap, as well. Freddie just proved. So it makes sense. It was just too early. That's all it was.
And the final guys on enters jumping into the pits now. City of R, Andy, and Ardell finally getting those enters off. Getting passed up by Freddie. See how these guys played their hand by staying out on the enters one extra lap beyond that. Fatweed. Looks like Dreams is still up ahead of Fatweed as well.
Yeah, so Dreams is now going to have to try and pull away from Fatweed at this stage, because he does have that time penalty, the 5-second penalty for speeding in the pit lane, if I'm not mistaken. So he's going to have to pull quite a bit of a gap. That's whether he can do it, we'll have to see. But yeah, he has a bit of work to do, and he actually exceeds track limits, so he definitely has a warning. Not good. We'll see. The one thing's for sure, actually, now that I see it, despite all this, Alpine not looking terrible at the same time, because they're still 4th and 5th.
Right.
Yes, they were leading, but still not bad.
And if they're
And
smart,
that'll probably be my final note for this race, because I have to leave for Tier 1,
oh,
unfortunately.
No worries. Good luck, Vinico. We shall see.
Thank you very much.
Later.
Be sure to let me know what the race result is, because this race it's been chaotic. But yeah, this is where I shall head off and make my way over to Tier 1. Be sure to tune into that, but reach the end of Tier 2 first.
Yeah.
I'm saying that right here, right now. Reach the end of it, because it can still be very interesting near the end. But for me, that's everything. See y'all next week.
See you, Vinico. Alrighty, folks. Well, that was our friend Miniko. He's gone now. We appreciate his help, as Fatweed picks up a 3-second penalty. That's not going to help. I'm pretty sure Freddie, this is his race to lose now. He has done himself a lot of great work by staying out of trouble, played the strategy just perfectly when the track went slick from the wets to the slicks. Now he just keeps pushing. And he's got a 6-second time gap between him, almost 7 seconds between him and second place now, Fatweed. Yeah, he looks to be okay with Gamer being the one behind him by 2.5 seconds, but it looks like these Alpines are going to be coming up on him pretty close towards the end here, and he might lose out on a podium, unfortunately. Andy in the Mercedes trying to make something happen for himself and the Merc crew as he's riding really close to Axis, who I thought he might have been able to get around Gamer a couple of laps ago, but it looks like Gamer is just pulling his teammate along now at this point, as I saw an ERS battery blinking, and that is Gamer's. So he's below 50% ERS battery. Land Sharky picks up another penalty, or picks up a 3-second penalty. But now, everyone, trying to push this track to the limits so much, lap over lap. You got only so many times before you pick up warnings. And now we start to see these time penalties come into play. This is now the backfield's picking some up. If these guys in the midfield can keep things clean, like Axis, Andy, Merc, City of R, you never know what can happen. Especially as of late. We've got 6 laps left. Go ahead and show you the tires. I see DeVito's asking for them. So Freddie on softs. 3-lap-old softs. 9 seconds ahead of Fatweed now, I'm pretty sure. As long as he keeps his race clean, he will be the race winner here at Singapore. Oof. Andy getting really close with the wall there. Mr. Old School retires. It looks like he crashed out around turn 4, unfortunately. So that's going to be it for him in the Red Bull. And we're out of safety cars officially, as the track stays green. Stry picks up another 3-second penalty. I think he just picked up the fastest lap just before that as well. Axe is still staying tucked behind his teammate Gamer, and Fatweed is essentially it's a Fatweed train. He is probably, it looks like, maybe 3 to 5 tenths slower than Freddie lap over lap. And as it's allowed around 4, almost 5 drivers to catch up to him. So he was out in quite a few spaces. City of R and Merc as well may be able to do something pretty special for themselves close to the end here. I know City of R is trying to look for a lot of help towards the end of this race, as the Alpines almost going side by side near the hairpin. Looks like Axis getting a little antsy now. The championship leader. Oh yeah, Freddie has run away with this. No one's catching him. He's just got to keep it clean. Even if he slowed down and ran tier 5 pace for the next few laps, he would be okay. The City of R right on Andy's tail. Looks like he is looking to make a move, as there is just an accordion effect of cars through that first chicane in Sector 1. They're all just trying to stay nose to tail. Gamer almost thinking about a move on Fatweed, and he doesn't do it. And he takes that corner a little too tight. Yeah, maybe Pat, possibly, but it looks like Axis has backed off for the time being, for the most part. He's gonna get another helping of DRS here soon, and I think Fatweed is probably gonna get overtaken here. Or not. Okay. He gets a really good exit out of the hairpin in Sector 2. Coming down this long straight in Sector 3. Oof. Gamer riding the curbs a little too much there. He's going to lose a lot of time. About a half a second. Opening the door back up for a few more drivers behind him. And Freddy is just a man on a mission. You can't even see anyone down that long straight of in Sector 1. There's no one close to him. 15-second lead for the man in the red and white Ferrari. Looks like its Shrine Dreams are having some close racing here as well. In the back of the pack. Both a little disappointed, I'm sure, as Ozic picks up a 3-second penalty, and he's in P10. So I don't think that's going to hurt him with the man who's right behind him too much. He's going to want to try to keep his nose clean as Gamer gets his nose up on the inside of Fatweed. This is the closest we've seen him in a while. Isn't able to make anything happen, but the Alpines are able to force the Aston a little narrow into that turn. But he still keeps ahead. Gamer, that ERS light still blinking. This is one of the toughest tracks to recover ERS on as well. So I think Gamer is pretty much done, and I don't know if he can actually make a push past Fatweed. It looks like he's going for a move there. Nothing. Oh no! Andy sends it into the back of City of R. Oh man. And it looks like he lost an end plate. Or, yeah, he's lost his left end plate. And I think that's going to be it for Andy in his battle for P2 or 3. Definitely was in it for podium position. As Fatweed is finally getting overtaken by Gamer. And the man, City of R, ooh, he's bumping him. Trying to sneak in and gain a little bit of track advantage in the city. But, Fatweed stays up ahead. City of R is now under attack from Axis, who now finds himself back 2 positions. Due, I would imagine, to that little tap in the back from Andy and City of R back around turn 1. I would have to assume. So Andy collects himself back into P5. He's going to hope that no one submits any penalties on him. Axis riding that slipstream hard of the Williams. Both him and City of R trying to get around this Aston Martin of Fatweed in any way possible, but I don't think they're going to do it. We've got 1 lap left, and I think Fatweed's going to be able to manage. They're going to be able to manage and hold on for this P3 on track, at least for the most part. So Freddy, our man, with the most perfect strategy call, is cruising through Sector 2 right now, coming through by the Alpha Tauri of Alfa Romeo, of MB Jacobson. He's going to be the first and only lap car this race. Sorry, MB. But Freddy coming in, finishing this race strong. Really, really strong. Fatweed was the man who had a chance to make something happen for himself, as well as, I believe it was Axis. They were 5 seconds behind. But with some late changes, it's going to be Freddy coming away as our Tier 2 Singapore winner. 19 seconds ahead, 20 seconds now ahead of the man behind. Freddy, congratulations, my man. What a great strategy call. You played it perfectly. Gamer's going to jump down to P4 with those penalties. City of R axes up into the podium positions of P2 and P3 respectively. Fatweed down to P5. Andy going to come away and solidify himself in P6. Merc in P7. Ardell in P8. Zeech in P9. Sharky in P10. Jordster crossing the line into P11. And Dreams, with an unfortunate race of his own after qualifying P2, comes home in P13 after some penalties of his own. Looks like Happy Like Pies finished just up ahead of him. It'll be interesting to see if anyone's able to join us for an interview. It'll be a little tricky for me to manage here, but we'll see what I can do. So let's go ahead and get a quick rundown again of our finishing order. Freddie Rizal in the Ferrari. Congratulations once again, my man, coming away with a Tier 2 win. City of R in P3, Axis, or City of R in P2, Axis in P3 to finish off the podium positions. Alpine coming away with P3 and P4 as Gamer finished right there after the 3-second penalty, even though he crossed the finish line on track in P2. Fatweed in P5, he had a 3-second penalty himself. Andy in P6 had an unfortunate mistake at the second, or was it the last lap? So he finds himself back into P6. Merc in P7, Ardell in P8 after having a pretty decent race himself, or qualifying, I should say, for the most part. Yeah, finishing in the lower of the points positions, but I'm sure he's happy to finish nonetheless. Zeech in P9, Landshark in P10 to round out the final points positions. And we got Jordster, Happy Like Pies, it's Shry, Dreams, MB Jacobson, Mr. Old School, Rated Axe, Simon Colston, and Chazzybot to finish out the orders. We had 4 drivers not finish the race. Chazzybot unfortunately got to that DSQ. Not sure what happened there. But yeah. So, let's try. This. Okay. I'm gonna wait and see. Get anyone in the waiting room. And let me adjust this as well. This looks a little choppy. Ah! Boom. Boom. All right. I am seeing Freddie, our race winner, in the interview room. Let's go ahead and pull him in here. See how he's doing. Freddie, our race winner in Tier 2. How you doing, my man?
I'm knackered.
Not
Tough race.
you had the right strategy call though. I mean, how nerve-wracking was that when the track was going over from inters to slicks and waiting it out and yeah, did you know you made the right call?
I had a race engineer with me, so he had some telemetry, and he was just telling me how long the rain will stay, and rain stayed around like 15 minutes, I think. So we didn't really know how long the rain would stay, but we took a gamble on inters, and we knew I had to make a few positions if I wanted that P1 spot. But I'm happy. I'm hopefully, surely now that this week I can't get my win taken away from me, or like podium at least.
I mean,
It's like 4 weeks in a row.
it didn't seem like you caught yourself into any trouble this race this time around. So I think you kept your nose clean, and yeah, you can pretty convincingly say you're the Singapore winner here. I mean, was there anything we might have missed on stream, perhaps?
Kind of. In my opinion, it weren't my fault.
Okay.
I got in an incident with the Alfa Romeo. I think it was Zeech.
Okay.
It was like first safety car. He kind of like took a weird line into the hairpin, like in sector 1, like turn 3. He went wide and then he just cut straight back across me, and then we just tangled. Lost a lot of positions. I thought my race was done from there, but
Oh yeah. I mean, you seem to recover pretty well. You came out you were 5 seconds ahead of the guys who pitted a lap earlier than you after going in from wets to slicks. So I mean, and you just kept pushing. I mean, you had a 20-second advantage at the end of the race. So even if you do pick up any time penalties, Freddie, I think you're gonna be all right here, mate, and get that P1.
I mean, in this league, they all find something that I've apparently done. So
let's hope not. Let's hope not. I mean,
get me a penalty, but
no.
Yeah, I'm hoping so.
I know your Ferrari team principal is really happy with that finish. So once again,
I'm hoping so. Yeah. I'm hoping so. Yeah.
Yeah. Come on. You got any thoughts for Silverstone? Is that a strong track of yours? Yeah.
Home Grand Prix.
Okay.
I've raced there twice in my whole if I say like proper leagues, I actually do. So like let's say this one and like another one like ZRL, and I've been taken out with most of them. Let's just say that. I don't think I've actually survived one Silverstone race, so I'm hoping next week will be the one.
Well, yeah, we'll keep our fingers crossed for you.
Podium, at least.
No, yeah, you seem to be somewhat of a decent midfield, at least, because you're what currently sitting P8 or P9 in the drivers' championship, which it's not the easiest thing in this tier.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to let my ego speak right now. I should be higher up, but again, I've got time penalties and that's which really cost me. So I should be around top 5, I'd say. But yeah, it just is what it is. Hopefully next season I can focus on a championship I've never won before.
Yeah, maybe a little bit more luck goes your way, and hopefully, yeah, this is the start of it essentially. This and next week maybe potentially. Well, Freddie, any final words as the race winner?
See, if I say anything, I'll probably get banned. So I'd rather not to.
Well, yeah. All right. Fair enough, Freddie. Well, good luck.
Thank you for the stream.
Yeah. I hope
elite, hopefully.
Oh yeah, I hope it was entertaining for you all, and for those of you who watched, and if you watch it back, it seemed like a pretty tight race for the most part, and the rain made it interesting. So thanks for joining us here in the media box for an interview after the race, Freddie. Congrats again.
Yeah, no worries. Simon Coulson's a stinker. I just wanted to point that out.
All right, you heard it, Simon.
Thanks for the stream.
Yeah. Thanks again, Freddie. Okay, folks. So that's gonna do it. It looks like here. In tier 2, we're gonna throw it. Hopefully, you all are already in the tier 1 broadcast. If not, joining in right now, because that's what I'm gonna say. Go do. Go join that tier 1 broadcast. They're having some fun. They should be wrapping up quali pretty soon if they haven't finished it up already. Great race, folks, here in Tier 2. It was entertaining, again, to say the least. Thanks for having me join as your sub broadcaster, Minico. We missed you for the finish, but appreciate the help. And again, thanks everyone for joining. We love y'all. Tier 1, no assist.